Hello, today I am here with a completely different video for you. So I am a makeup artist, I am not a nail technician, but I've been watching adverts on Facebook for so long now of the Polygel nails. You've probably seen them, they're mostly Chinese, and when you click the link on the video, it normally takes you to a Chinese website like Wish or something like that. But I got really interested in it because I do like to do my own nails, especially at the moment when we can't go out and see a technician, so we have to do them at home. I normally wear stick-on nails because I can take them off whenever I want, so I'm not stabbing clients in the eye, and I can change them as well, because there's so many different ones, and I like the whole chrome look ones that you get as well, so I like to change them a lot. Anyway, if you saw my post a few weeks back, I had a go at doing acrylic nails for the first time because I just bought a little kit off from B&M, dead cheap. And I just wanted to have a go, I just wanted to see what it was like, and it's dead difficult. So hands up to you nail technicians, I could not for the life of me. I was getting so frustrated with it. But you guys do a phenomenal job because mine were crap. But I managed anyway, and I got a fairly decent set. Got bored with them, took them off anyway. I took them off properly as well with the acetone wraps. Anyway, so I've been watching these videos on Facebook of the Polygel nails, and I thought, do you know what? I want to have a go. And I've spoke to quite a few people about it, and they all think the same, oh, shall I have a go? But if you're looking to buy a kit from the UK, something that's, decent, one that you're not going to think, what the hell has it got in it if it's coming from China? You have to pay a bit more money. They're not as cheap as the versions that you get from Wish or whatnot. So I had a shop about anyway. I had a look for some different sets. I tried eBay, UK based, but they're still sort of coming from China. I guess probably every product is coming from China anyway, but for some reason you always tend to feel a bit safer when you're buying from the UK. So I had a bit of a shop about, and I found a couple of sites. One was the Beauty Link Network, and then the other was prettypolynails.uk. The first thing you need obviously is your Polygel. For some reason it's massively out of stock. Wherever I've had a look, I can't seem to get the exact colour that I want. So I ended up buying this one, which is Cotton Candy Pink. I can't see the colour on the box, but it's just kind of like a light pink colour, so I thought that'll do. And I suppose you can always paint them as well if you wanted to. So I bought the Polygel from Pretty Poly Nails, some nail clips, because obviously the Polygel has to be set with a UV lamp, so whilst you're setting you can put these handy little clips on to keep the nail on there. I bought some nail clippers because it's easier to do it with the straight clippers than it is with normal nail clippers. And I got a couple of glitters as well, just to sort of jazz it up a little bit. So I've got Lavender Ice and Unicorn. The Lavender Ice it's just sort of like a iridescent glitter with a pinky purple glitter, the colour inside it. And then the Unicorn one is a mixture of kind of green and pink and purple, so just a couple of different ones to play about with. So the other things you need then are a base coat. So from the Beauty Link Network, I got the Orly Gel Effects base coat. So the base coat, I think, is just a base coat that you use for gel nails. So I picked that up. And the other thing, there's two ways of doing Polygel nails. The first is with the paper form that you sort of wrap around your finger, and then you use the Polygel to sculpt over the nail to make the shape that you want. But I thought that's probably a bit difficult for me for the first time I'm doing it, so I decided to go with the other option, which is dual form nails. And they're kind of like nail tips that you would have when you go and have acrylics done, but instead of actually leaving the tip on, you put the Polygel inside of the form and then slip it over your finger, and you leave the form on whilst you put it under the UV lamp, which I've got just here, and then you wiggle it off once it's cured. And I think the timer that I've got on my UV lamp is 120 seconds, which I think is sufficient. So that's like 2 minutes to cure the gel. The base coat needs curing as well, which is about 30 seconds. So anyway, I thought you might be interested to have a laugh at me while I try to figure out what I'm doing with these, soon as it is my first time. So I've also got a nail file and a a buffing block as well, just to get rid of any harsh edges, and I've got a cuticle pusher. I did my nails last night. I got rid of everything that was left on there, and I just pushed my cuticles down, but I can show you again. The other thing you need, the last thing, is a polygel solution. This is what they call slip solution. So whilst you're moulding your polygel into the nail form, to prevent your brush from sticking to the polygel, you need to use a slip solution with it. I have no idea what's in this. Ethanol, something else, ammonium compound. I don't really know, but anyway, there's that stuff in there that makes it not stick to the brush. So the only thing I forgot to buy was a brush, actually. So I'm thinking what I'm just going to use, I'm going to try and use a couple of old brushes that I've just got left out of my makeup kit. That's not professional at all in the slightest, but still. So I've got a couple of different choices. I have no idea which one's going to work best. I think I'm probably going to try this one. That kind of looks like the most appropriate brush to begin with. So yes, and what you do is you use the slip liquid, you dip your brush into a little glass pot. Now technicians have a dapping dish, don't they? But I'm not, and I don't. So I'm using my tip jar, which is glass. It'll do the same job. So you just put a little bit of this liquid into your dapping dish, or if you're an idiot like me, your tip jar. And you use that to dip your brush into to prevent your brush sticking to the polygel as you apply it to the dual form, and also to clean up around the edges as you go. You see, I kind of sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. And cleansing the nail plate before you start with anything as well, which is what we've got to do. So I've got some cotton wool pads just to cleanse my nails with. I'm fully aware of the fact that you're supposed to use lint-free. I don't have those, so I'm using these. This is why this will probably go drastically wrong, but we'll see. I thought I'd do this just so you can see what it's like, because lots of people are considering buying these kits off Facebook. But I thought I'd lay out the money, I'd buy it, and then you can see what a completely unprofessional beginner's attempt of it looks like before you go and waste your money on it. I've took one for the team. So, right, I'm a bit nervous about starting this because, as I say, I don't know what I'm doing. So, cleansing nails first then, and you can just use a bit of the slip liquid. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my right hand because it's the easiest one to do. Then I will go away and do my left hand, where I'm going to make a complete and utter tit of myself, and then come back and show you the result. I guess it's just like nail varnish remover. It smells like that anyway. So I don't know actually whether you could use nail varnish remover then instead. I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this little brush, like I said. I'm just going to pop that in my my little jar. Right, so the dual nail forms then, I've got these. And I want to be finding ones that fit my nails properly. And you want the dual form to sit nicely on top of the nail. You don't want any gaps around the edges, and you don't want it to be too small either. So you still want it to be able to cover the sides. I know that they say it's important not to get any of the polygel onto your cuticle or onto the side walls of the skin around your nail. It's not supposed to have any contact with your skin, so I'd make sure that you're not using one that's too big. It just wants to fit just nicely around the nail. So kind of like that, I guess. Right, so I've picked out my nail forms there. So the next step is to apply the base coat to the fingers, and I'm just going to do one hand first, and they need to be cured for about 30 seconds, I think it said. I'm absolutely rubbish at painting nails. This is why I know this is just going to be a pig's ear of a job. So I've just put a layer of base coat on there, and I'm just going to pop them into, under the UV lamp for 30 seconds. My timer is 2 minutes, so I guess I'll probably just leave it under there. Okay, so that base coat is set. So now I best bite the bullet and have a go at this. Right then, I'm going to start with my little finger. So that's the top of the jewel form there, where the two little pointy bits are. So I guess I'm just going to take about a pea-sized amount of the Polygel and pop that. Pop that on there like that. I don't know if that's too much. And I guess if it is too much, you can sort of like take it off with the liquid. So when you get the liquid on your brush, you kind of want to be squeezing it off on the side. You don't want a lot on there, it's just kind of enough. And then what you do is you kind of brush the, I've got a little hair on my brush there. You just kind of brush the Polygel into place. You kind of push it down the nail form. And you want it thinner at the cuticle end and thinner along the side walls as well. So you want most of the product to be in the centre. And I say you want it in the centre because that's where the apex is. Again, I kind of sound like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. That's just from watching videos. You want the majority of it to be, see, I'm getting covered in it now. I'm just going to get that off me. The apex is in the middle. That's what keeps your nail strong. That's what strengthens it. So you want the majority of the product to be on the apex so that you've got a nice strong nail. And then obviously the tip needs to be quite thin, and the cuticle and along the side walls. And then where you've got any that sort of like come over the edge, you can just mould that. The good thing about the Polygel is that it doesn't go off while you're faffing around with it, so you can take your time really, you know, working that Polygel around the form to get it how you want it to be using the slip liquid. You don't have to worry about it going off or anything. I've kind of filled it in there and I think that's right. And you're also looking for it not to be transparent. You don't want it to be transparent. I've got just like a little edge on the side there that is a bit, so I'm going to work a bit more of that Polygel up to that space there. Okay, so I think I've filled that enough now, and I've got no transparent patches. So I'm going to pop it on the nail now, and you want to sort of do it like an angle, because you don't want to be getting too much on that cuticle, so you can kind of like push it away, I guess. You don't want to be touching the skin with it, so if you do get any on there, you can just go back in with your little brush and just get it off. And you also don't want to push down too hard either, because you don't want it all to come out of the mould. Okay, so I've got it on the nail there. And just hold it with one of your fingers, and then you can work on the underneath as well, because you've just obviously pushed some of the Polygel up, so it's going to sort of like sit on your nail there, so you can just kind of like get rid of that around your skin and concentrate on getting that underneath edge nice and flat, because it'll make a world of difference when they're set. You won't have to do so much filing down underneath then. Then you can pop it in the, perhaps I should use a clip, I don't really know. Let's try the clip. So they have a curved edge, I'm assuming that goes on top of the nail. because sometimes the forms can move about a bit. And then it goes under there for 2 minutes. So that's the top side that's set now. That's been in for 2 minutes. So now I think I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to put it in that way and do the underside for another 2 minutes. Right, so now they've had sufficient drying time, it's time to take the dull form off. I believe you just give it a wiggle. Watch the whole thing just fall off now. Okay, it's not coming off. Oh, yay, I did it. So there we go. Now I can already see where I've gone wrong. I've kind of got a transparent line across it where I don't seem to have put enough stuff on there. But I don't think there's anything I can really do about that now. But it feels dry anyway. I think the underside's probably a little bit thick, and I guess I'm going to have to file that down. Because I've put quite a bit on there. I think I got the apex wrong, and I put most of the product right there when it should have been sort of down here on the nail plate, and I've ended up going above it. But at least I know for next time where I've gone wrong. So that nail probably won't last too long, being as there's a sort of a transparentish line there. It's not going to last too long, and I'll end up having to redo that one. But hey, it's my first nail. I don't think I've done too bad. Okay, so as you can see, I've got quite a lot on the underneath there, and I've just had a sudden wave of thought that I can't actually file it down underneath it because I don't have one of those little electronic files. So I don't know how I'm going to get that off, but never mind. Anyway, for the next nail, I want to add a bit of glitter into it. So I'm going to squeeze out the pea-sized amount that I need into this little sort of plastic tray that I've got here, because I haven't got a metal one. I'm going to use the unicorn glitter, and I'm going to use the cuticle pusher that I've got just to mix it together with. So I'm just going to add in a couple of scoops of that glitter into the Polygel and mix it together. Now, apparently you don't want too much glitter. The ratio's got to be right. You've got to have more Polygel than you have glitter, basically. So I've kind of got it like that. I don't think I've got too much glitter in there. Still feels like you can work with it anyway, which is, I guess, what you're looking for. Right, so the next one then, I'm using 6. So I noticed, obviously, when I did the first nail that I filled the apex in wrong. So I'm thinking I need to fill it in to where the nail plate actually is, which is closer to the cuticle. I'm just going to pop it in using my little cuticle pusher, which is not a spatula. I'm just going to stick that in my little dish there as well so I can get it off. Right, let's try again. Whoops. It's dropping off everywhere. You see, it's not as easy as what they show you in the videos, is it? They make it look dead easy. Oh God, I'm dropping it everywhere now. But yeah, they know what they're doing, don't they? I mean, it is really helpful though that it doesn't go off, so you can spend your time messing about with it, and if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. You can just do it again, just take it all out and start again. Now I'm sufficiently covered in it, I think I'm ready to put it on. Try and make sure the apex is where it's supposed to be. Right. So push it on at an angle. So pushing in where I want the thinner parts to be, just so it spreads the polygel out a little bit more around the side walls and the cuticle, obviously. Remember, you can clean up around the edges with your slip solution. I think I forgot to say as well that you need to make sure your cuticles are pushed back. That's what I've got my cuticle pushing tool for, but like I did say to you, I did them last night, so but make sure you guys do that before you try and put the nails on. Right, so you see now it's been pushed on. You can see where all the excess product is underneath it. So now I'm going to try and get that out. Pull it up the nail towards the end, so that I don't leave it on like I did with the first nail, because then I've got no way of getting it off. I think that's ready to set now. I'm going to try it without the clip this time, so I'm not moving it anywhere, because when I used the clip the first time, I think I kind of like moved it around a bit while I was under the lamp, and I don't want that. Just cleaning up around the sides. Okay, and then 2 minutes the right way up, and then 2 minutes on the underside. Right, that should be set now. So I'm going to try and get this thing off the top. Turns out it can be a little bit difficult. Oh, I've done it. There we go. That's the next one done. So again, I've got it quite thick there. I think that's thick enough on the apex, but I'm also a bit thick on the tip as well, so that will need filing down. But you can see the glitter in it. Well, I can't, it's just not so good on this video. So I am going to do the next two plain and then the thumb glitter as well, I think, and I'll show you when I've done. Okay, so I've managed to get all the nails on one hand, and now they just sort of need trimming down and filing and stuff, so I'm going to do that. I want that kind of like ballerina shape, you know, they're like coffin, but they're kind of like a bit thinner than that, so I'm just going to chop off what I want. I hate trying to get nails level, so doing it with the wrong hand. Yeah, all right, so I'm just going to file. It's quite a coarse one, this one is. I have no idea what it is, but I'm just going to file the edges down where I made a bit of a mess. Okie dokie, they're all done. I've just filed them down just around the edges and buffed over the top of them. So that's what they look like. Not amazing, because I'm not very good at it, but I don't think they've turned out too bad. You can get kits for about 30 quid off the internet, so and they're a lot cheaper if you get the ones from Wish. I bet they're all the same thing, but you know, I don't know, if you want to be safe rather than sorry, obviously order from the UK. And I don't think £30 is a bad price, but I will say this, they are a lot harder to do than what you think and what they look like when they do the videos. And you know, you think, wow, that looks dead easy, just bang it in the mould and you stick it on your fingernails and away you go. It's not that easy. Also, make sure you do need a UV lamp. Some of the kits I know come with a UV lamp, and they come with like a top coat as well, but I haven't got one of those. I didn't buy one of those. I'm assuming a normal gel top coat will do, so I'll probably continue having a mess about and file them down a bit more, make sure they're nice and smooth by the cuticles, and then I'll pop a top coat on them. They're quite transparent, you can see sort of like my nails, but I think that's the colour, with this being like a sort of a see-through pink, but they do like a nude pink and a white, and so you could have a go at doing your own French ombre. They do a clear as well, but I wouldn't advise for your first time doing a clear, because obviously when you fill the nail form in, you're not going to see where any of the transparent spots are, where your nail's going to be weaker. So I'd suggest starting with a more opaque colour. Even if it is slightly transparent like this pink, it'll still you'll still be able to see where the missing spots are. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon, coming back with my straighteners, the steam straighteners. Yes, so I'm going to do that in the next couple of days. I thought what I'll probably do is do half of my hair with my normal straighteners and the other half with the infrared steam straighteners, just to give you an idea of how good they are as well. So take care all of you, and I'll see you all soon.